Welcome to Drunk Bible Study. This show's mission is to read every single word of the greatest story ever told. A warning to our listeners, the hosts of this show are sinners, but they're doing their best. There will be drinking and there may be some swears. They did say they'd try to keep it clean, but I wouldn't put my money on it.
I'm Emily, and this is Drunk Bible Study, where my good friends Dedeker and Jace teach me, a born and raised atheist, all about the Bible. So Jace and Dedeker, how are y'all doing today?
I'm doing great. It's our 100th episode today, if you can believe it. I know I certainly can't.
Wow.
Yeah, I think, Jace, you were pointing out earlier, almost 2 years now, essentially, which I just straight up do not believe. It does not feel like it's been that long.
No, it goes by in an instant.
Yeah, I know it's wild to think that we've been doing this that long, because we just kind of started this a little bit on a whim, I guess. It's like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if
we taught Emily about the Bible? And I'm like, and then it ended up being really cool.
And here we
are.
So thank you. So 100 episodes later, that's so exciting. So we're here. We are streaming in our Get Vocal, and we have a live audience who is dropping in all their favorite jokes to try to trip us up and distract us while we're doing this. But yeah, I think it's going to be a really good episode today.
So I actually just looked it up, and our first episode came out on the 4th of July, was when we released our little preview episode.
Such patriots.
Of 2018.
Wow.
And then our first real episode came out on July 9th, which is my birthday.
Oh, that's great that it's on that day. Yay.
Right. So that means in a little less than 3 months is when we'll actually hit 2 years.
Wow.
Let's hope that we're out of quarantine by then.
Yeah.
We can only hope so. But speaking of quarantine, what are y'all drinking today?
I'm drinking a quarantini. I'm not actually. This is a normal martini.
It's a quarantini because you're in quarantine while drinking a martini.
Right, that's true. So everything I do, I'll just put Quarren before it.
Quarren Beeru.
A Quarren podcast that we're recording on my Quarren computer. Yeah. Yes, I'm having a very, very dirty martini. It's basically like you took a jar of olives, emptied out a little bit of the olive juice, poured some gin in there, and shook it up, and then put it in a martini glass.
Nice. Sounds
I know,
great.
it's funny because when you drink martinis, people are like, ooh, you're so classy. But I'm like, yeah, but people who actually drink martinis would look at me and go, pfft.
Why? Because it's very dirty?
Yeah, it's like not classy to drink a dirty martini, which is funny to me because essentially what that means is what we associate with classiness amongst martini drinkers is basically people who want to drink straight gin and call it a martini.
Exactly. They drink straight gin and then they look at the vermouth bottle, put a single olive in, and then that's it.
Right. Well, whole thing about like shaken while staring at an unopened bottle of vermouth or like any version of that is like, or like you open literally in bartending school, I was taught if you want to make someone, if they say like, I want a super dry martini, that you open the vermouth bottle and you wave it over the glass, but don't actually pour any in.
What?
Or like wave it over the mixer.
That's ridiculous.
Oh my goodness.
And don't actually put any in. And then,
What about just doing with a little bit of lemon?
Really,
is that classy?
That's a different type of martini, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that would be a vodka martini, not a gin martini, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
well, I've been doing mostly vodka martinis these days.
Wow, look at you, Dedeker. Sometimes you drink harder liquor than I think that you might, which, you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And on that note, what are you drinking, Dedeker?
I'm drinking a Bloody Mary because I finally got the materials to make a morning appropriate drink for the 10 a.m. that it is in Australia right now. So it's quite nice.
Sweet.
Right.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. I can give you a quick little trivia about martinis while we're on the subject of drinks.
Let's
real
hear
quick. So these
Go
are
for
some
it.
variations on martinis. So the traditional martini can have olives or could have a lemon twist in it. If you put a cocktail onion in it instead of an olive, it becomes a Gibson.
Oh.
And a Vesper Bond martini is
Vesper is my
first,
favorite Bond
it's
girl.
the first martini that James Bond ordered in Casino Royale, and it's distinctive in that it has both gin and vodka.
Cheese.
Wow.
James Bond. Cheese.
In addition to some Lillet Blanc, which is a French
course.
aperitif.
Of course.
Vesperland, the amazing Eva Green. Oh,
Right. Your
hey,
favorite
girl.
lady. Your favorite
Call
lady.
me.
What are you
Yeah.
drinking, Emily?
I am drinking usual wines, which it comes like in these little beaker bottles, which I think are really cool.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
showing it
that's
to
really
the
cool
audience.
looking.
Yeah, and this is like a 6.3 ounce glass of wine. So it's like a large glass of wine per thing, and like a box comes with 12 of them. So it's really good. It apparently is supposed to taste like strawberry, rose petal, and rhubarb. I've never had rose petals before, but now I have. So here we are. Yeah, it's a fun
Nice.
time. I know, I'm enjoying it.
Oh.
So I highly recommend it.
Or so, Emily,
Alrighty.
do you remember what happened last time?
I remember that we were introduced to Saul, not of the Goodman variety, but of a different type of variety, which I guess he's about to be a king or something. And he might be a prophet, and that might be a proverb, which is not related to John 3:16. Thanks.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And Samuel didn't like that at all. Like he didn't like the fact that there was a possibility of this prophet becoming a king, and that the Israelites so badly wanted a king. So here we
It
are.
was interesting, though, that Saul was so anti-king. He's like, do you realize what having a king involves? It's going to be terrible. And they're like, we want it anyway. And then Yahweh told him, like, hey, this guy's going to be the king. You better set that up. And he kind of sets him on the way to do it. And then as he's like crowning him king, is like, but everyone, please remember, I said this was a bad idea. I'm still doing it. Yahweh told me to do it too. But like, this is a really bad idea, everybody.
Yes, indeed, exactly. So it's an
Yeah.
interesting time, and I can't wait to see if Saul's going to be a good king or not. I think signs point to
Are
no.
you a good king or a bad king?
Are you a good king or a bad king? Yeah, signs point to maybe not, but we'll see what happens. It was a fun time getting him there, and he's going to be played by Adam Driver in our movie. So I'm very excited about that because I've always wanted to meet Adam Driver. So here we go.
Yeah,
Maybe the closest you'll ever get.
Yeah, exactly. The closest is my 7 degrees of separation.
All right, so today we're reading 1 Samuel 13 and 14. As we get started, we want to remind everybody to read responsibly and drink responsibly.
You can drink along with us, or you can listen to us while you're in the car.
But please do not do both at the same time.
And with that, 1 Samuel chapter 13. Samuel 1.
See? Nobody
colon,
knows.
Oh,
13,
now
yeah.
you even messing it up.
Good. I'm
This is
glad
what
that I'm not
happens
the
when you
only
start
one.
drinking too soon. Gosh.
Yeah. All right, here we go. 1 Samuel chapter 13. Saul was 40 years old when he began to reign, and when he had reigned 2 years over Israel, Saul chose him 3,000 men of Israel, whereof 2,000 were with Saul in Mishmash.
Mishmash.
So hang on one
Michmash.
second, Jace, because I'm already going to
Yeah,
stop
okay.
you because my version of the Bible says that Saul was 30 years old.
What version are you reading, Dedeker?
Oh, the New International Version. That's why. No wonder. I got to
Oh.
switch that.
Yeah.
But that's interesting that the
But-
two
but
different
why would-
translations would have, right?
Yeah, why
You'd
would
think
it be
numbers
different?
are pretty straightforward for translating. but-
That's true. That's interesting. Maybe it just, well, also 40 is in brackets. So maybe somebody like extracted 30 and was like, that's too young to rule over a whole people. We're going to make him 40.
Oh, I was thinking more
Or-
maybe they were like, yeah, but back then, 40 was the new 30. It was cool.
Yeah,
Right.
maybe you're right.
Or I'm just picturing it's like they're transcribing this from an old document that was written like in Roman numerals. And so it was just like XXXX to be, 40. But like
Right.
the page was a little scratched up and they were like, are there 3 X's or 4 X's? I don't know. Also, I'm pretty sure that's not how you would actually write 40 in.
No, definitely not.
XXXX.
No.
Right? It would be XV, X.
It'd be XXL.
V, X,
It'd be XL.
XL.
Yes. You got it.
Yeah, thank you in the chat.
Magic
XL.
Mike's XXL Saul Goodman.
Right.
Cool.
Magic Mike XXL : Saul Goodman : 1 Samuel. I like that. That's pretty good.
Beautiful.
That'll all be the subtitle for the movie.
Exactly.
Okay. So Saul is 40 years old, and he chose him 3,000 men of Israel, whereof 2,000 were with Saul in Michmash and in the Mount of Bethel, and 1,000 were with Jonathan in Gibeah of Benjamin. And the rest of the people.
Who's that?
Who's Jonathan?
Yeah, that's new.
I don't
New
know.
boy.
New character. We're with Jonathan in Gibeah of Benjamin, and the rest of the people, he sent every man to his tent. Okay.
He's like, get you to your tent.
So he gathered up these 3,000, and everyone else, he's like, go home. I don't need you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never mind.
Jonathan struck the garrison of the Philistines that was in Geba, in Yogabagaba, and the Philistines heard of it. Saul blew the trumpet throughout all the land, saying, let the Hebrews hear.
I like how he just like pulled a trumpet out. He just like happened to have one on hand. That's cool. Good for him.
As king, you always got to have one handy
Do,
for
do,
these
do.
sorts of...
Yeah, exactly.
All Israel heard say, all Israel done heard tell, that Saul had struck the garrison of the Philistines, and also that Israel was had in abomination with the Philistines.
Who wrote
I don't
this book?
understand those words.
Yeah, I don't know.
And that, okay, I'm looking it up.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is verse 4 in the Message. Says, he blew his trumpet throughout the land. The word went out all over Israel. Quote, Saul has killed the Philistine governor, drawn first blood. The
What?
Philistines are stirred up and mad as hornets. End quote.
Thank you, the Message. Thank you. Goodness.
Summoned, the army came to Saul at Gilgal. What? Okay, let me see. This is NIV. Saul has attacked the Philistine outpost, and now Israel has become obnoxious to the Philistines.
I mean, yeah,
It's also good.
I would agree.
They're all good.
They're all ridiculous. Wow. Okay.
All of them except the one that we're reading, which was hard to understand. Okay, so now that we know what it's supposed to mean, here is that verse again. All Israel heard say that Saul had struck the garrison of the Philistines, and also that Israel was had in abomination with the Philistines.
So they were angry at the Philistines?
Yeah.
Or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Must be.
Okay.
Oh, right. Annalisa pointed out that the Green Hornet made a cameo,
yeah, the
but
Maddest
only in the
Hornets.
Message version.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, the people were gathered together after Saul to Gilgal. So they heard this and they gathered in Gilgal. Okay. The Philistines assembled themselves together to fight with Israel. 30,000 chariots
Wow.
and 6,000 horsemen.
Wow.
And people as the sand, which is on the seashore in multitude.
Oh.
I see. It's like poetic.
Yeah, we're getting super poetic all of a
So
sudden.
they're like saying that the people are as ample as like
No.
many as the sand?
No. It's sand
Yeah, I
people
think
because
so.
apparently
Okay.
this story is all Star Wars characters.
Oh, it's Star Wars. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Right. Okay. That's a different meaning.
First
here.
Samuel has had
So, okay.
surprisingly a lot of Star Wars overtones, apparently.
Yes.
It really has.
Yeah.
For sure.
And people as the sand, which is on the seashore in multitude. And they came up and encamped in Michmash, eastward of Beth Aven. When the men of Israel saw that they were in a strait, for the people were distressed.
Dire
That's in parentheses
straits.
there. Yeah, they're in dire straits. Okay. Saw that they were in a strait, for the people were distressed. Then the people did hide themselves in caves and in thickets and in rocks and in coverts and in pits.
Thickets.
And in a pot over there, in some baskets I wove under a blanket. Like, one of them was
And
3
some
toddlers in a
just held
trench
up their
coat.
hands. Right. Some held up their hands over their faces and said, I can't see you, so you can't be real. Okay. Verse 7. Now some of the Hebrews had gone over the Jordan to the land of Gad and Gilead, but as for Saul, he was yet in Gilgal, and all the people followed him trembling. He stayed 7 days, according to the set time that Samuel had appointed. But Samuel didn't come to Gilgal, and the people were scattered from him. Okay, so this is going like way back. To remember, Samuel had his whole prophecy that he would go there and wait 7 days for him to show up.
I thought that was part of his.
Wait, so this is what happened?
Yeah, I thought that was part of his whole coronation process, though, that he had to do that.
Because then this is 2 years later now. He's been king now for 2 years already.
Okay.
Maybe this is a regular standing thing. They have this regular date where you show up 7 days before and then I'll come.
That's how we keep the connection alive, you know?
I see.
Okay. So he stayed 7 days according to the set time that Samuel had appointed, but Samuel didn't come to Gilgal, and the people were scattered from him. Saul said, "Bring here the burnt offering to me and the peace offerings."
Oh, boy.
He offered the burnt offering.
So he's already like, give it to me. I get the good stuff because I am king.
Well, and also like he did the sacrifice instead of waiting for the priest to show up.
Oh, that's weird. Maybe because he's like, I am as good as God. I'm a king. Yay.
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. It came to pass that as soon as he had made an end of the offering, that as soon as he had made an end of offering the burnt offering, behold, Samuel came.
Oh, dang it.
Awkward.
Hey, Sammy.
I thought you...
I can explain.
And Saul went out to meet him that he might greet him. Samuel said, "What have you done?"
Oh,
this
no.
This is old Yoda playing this.
Done what have you?
Yeah. Saul said in his Adam Driver voice, "Because I saw that the people were scattered from me, and that you didn't come within the days appointed, and that the Philistines assembled themselves together at Michmash. Therefore said I, now will the Philistines come down on me to Gilgal, and I haven't entreated the favor of Yahweh. I forced myself, therefore, and offered the burnt offering." Is that?
I'm enjoying your Adam
I
Driver.
definitely get the
Driver.
angst. Like the
I
teenage,
can hear it.
the teenage angst is good. I like it.
It's like,
how old is
you go
Adam
back and
Driver?
forth. Yeah, I know, right? He's probably in his 30s.
Well,
I'm assuming.
Playing in theory a 40-year-old man, he can still have a
Okay,
teenage
so we're
phase.
aging him up. We're aging him up. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, by the time we make the movie, he'll be a good age for it, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was trying to combine sort of like a whininess with like a angsty anger. Like that to me is sort of that Adam Driver.
It's the Kylo Ren for sure.
Yeah, the Kylo Ren at least.
He's gonna start like destroying things.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just wait. We'll get there probably.
Spoilers.
I made that up. I don't know if that's true. Okay. So Samuel said to Saul, "You have done foolishly." I'm not going to do a Yoda voice. I'm sorry. That was a mistake. As soon as I started it, I knew it was a mistake. Okay. "You have done foolishly. You have not kept the commandment of Yahweh your God, which he commanded you. For now would Yahweh have established your kingdom on Israel forever. But now your kingdom shall not continue. Yahweh has sought him a man after his own heart, and Yahweh has appointed him to be prince over his people, because you have not kept that which Yahweh commanded you."
Jeez.
Wait. So there's going to be a new boy already?
Yeah.
That's what Samuel's
Saul
saying.
was just a little bit impatient and is already going to get replaced.
So does that mean that the next king needs to be played by Daisy Ridley?
Well, I thought that,
Cool.
however, I also kind of liked the weird poeticness of if actually we cast a young Mark Hamill as our next king.
We have to
with,
age
time
Mark
travel?
Hamill back.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Okay, this is a universe where we're casting Baby Yoda as an actor in a role. I think we can
All right,
reverse
fine.
age Mark Hamill.
No, I disagree. I think casting Baby
Well,
Yoda...
CGI can do that, I guess.
Right, that's already a puppet. We can already do that. We can't have Mark Hamill become young again. Come on. Unless we did one of those weird, eerie, like deep fake things where we have a different actor and we take footage
Yeah,
of
I
Mark
hate
Hamill
when they
when he
do
was
that. It
young
never
and
turns out
paste it
good.
on there.
Well, let's see. When we get there, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Okay. Samuel arose and got him up from Gilgal to Gibeah of Benjamin. Saul numbered the people who were present with him, about 600 men. Saul and Jonathan, his son. Oh, that's who
Jonathan's
is.
the son of Saul?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
I'm glad we
apparently.
cleared that up finally.
Yeah. And the people who were present with them abode in Geba of Benjamin. But the Philistines encamped in Michmash. The spoilers came out of the camp of the Philistines in 3 companies and said, Dumbledore dies in this one.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Does it actually say the spoilers
That's
came
awful.
out?
It does. It says
Dang.
the spoilers came out of the camp of the Philistines in 3 companies. Wow. Okay. So one company turned to the way that leads to Oprah, to the land of Shual, and another company turned the way to Beth Horon, and another company turned the way of the border that looks down on the valley of Zeboim toward the wilderness.
Wait, so what's happening?
Are these the bad guys or the good
they're
guys
le-
or the spoilers?
These are the Philistines.
The Philistines.
The
Okay,
spoilers
bad
from the
guys.
Philistines. They sent out
What
their
are they
spoilers.
spoiling?
They got like the pre-release editions of all the movies that were going to come
I
out,
see.
and they
Okay.
sent them out in 3 groups to 3 different places.
And they're going to give them to everyone. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay. Let's just check the message. I'm curious what spoilers is supposed to be. Let's see what happens here. Okay. Oh, it just says 3 squads of raiding parties were.
Okay, how are we supposed to know that from spoilers? What unless
Well-
are they spoiling like the people in some fashion? They're like they're gonna spoil
them gifts.
their
No,
day.
I was thinking spoiling their day. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
yeah, they're gonna spoil their day.
They're
their
really
day
gonna
in a
ruin
big
their
way.
day for sure.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
Okay. Okay. All right. Now there was no smith found throughout all the lands of Israel, for the Philistines said, lest the Hebrews make them swords or spears. But all the Israelites went down to the Philistines to sharpen every man his plowshare, mattock, axe, and sickle.
All right, lots of questions. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, what do
So
you got?
okay, first of all, so the Philistine sounds like the Philistines shut down every weaponsmith or blacksmith in
Yeah, that does seem to
the
be what's going on.
locality so that the Israelites could not make any weapons. But the Israelites were like, haha, we have plowshares and mattocks, that thing that we all
And
know
God?
and love. And God.
We love mattocks. Yeah.
We have things that we can sharpen into weapons.
It is a hand tool used for digging, prying, and chopping, similar to a pickaxe.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that's a good weapon. Okay, so plowshares, pickaxes, normal axes, and sickles. Now this part actually gets even more confusing. Right? So okay, so we established like there were no smiths because the Philistines, I guess, destroyed them, lest the Hebrews make them swords or spears. But all the Israelites went down to the Philistines, confusing, to sharpen every man his plowshare, mattock, axe, and sickle. Yet they had a file for the mattocks, and for the plowshares, and for the forks, and for the axes, and to set the goads.
What's a goad?
Set the goat, like a
the
goad, like a goad.
goads.
Like, yeah, we've encountered a goad before.
G-O-A-D-S.
It's like a thing that you use to bother sheep so that they keep moving along.
Bah. Okay.
Like,
Yeah, it's a spiked stick used for driving cattle.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
Or it's how you
right.
bother
Okay.
cattle.
But I'm assuming now they're using it like as
Yeah.
a mace or a morning star and just bashing people. Okay.
Jeez. Okay.
So it came to pass, that confusing thing. So it came to pass in the day of battle that there was neither sword nor spear found in the hand of any of the people who were with Saul and Jonathan. But with Saul and with Jonathan, his son, was there found.
Wait.
Hmm?
Whose son? I
Huh?
thought Jonathan was the son.
Yeah, sorry. But with Saul and with Jonathan, his son, was there
Oh,
found.
Thank you.
Was there found, period.
What was there
Last-
found?
They
Right?
were-
Last sentence is the garrison of the Philistines went out to the pass of Michmash.
That's
What
clear as mud.
even-
What even is this sentence? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's the end. Should I hit the message real
Yeah,
quick?
hit it.
Sure.
Little dose. Little hit. There wasn't a blacksmith to be found anywhere in Israel. The Philistines had made sure of that, quote, lest those Hebrews start making swords and spears. end quote. That meant that the Israelites had to go down among the Philistines to keep their farm tools, plowshares and mattocks, axes and sickles, sharp and in good repair. Oh, I see. So this has been an ongoing thing. Okay.
So
they charged a silver coin for the plowshares and mattocks and half that for the rest. What? Where did you get that meaning from what we just read?
It's very important, to just in case you are also reading, you're like, oh, actually, I realized my mattoc's a little bit dull recently. I should get that taken care of. Also,
okay. Half price for those. Yeah. Okay. So, and here's the end of it. So when the battle of Michmash was joined, there wasn't a sword or spear to be found anywhere in Israel, except for Saul and his son Jonathan.
So
they were both well armed.
Yes.
Oh, I thought that they were the spears and swords in some sense. But no, they just had a lot of them. Cool.
They have them.
They're the only two that have them.
Yeah, because they weren't in this town that was getting that having this threat of having to poke out their right eyes in order to like have a treaty. They were somewhere else when they heard news and gathered all these troops together. So I think they're kind of saying like, but they're bringing in the weapons.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I interpret
that,
at least.
Okay. Also, somebody said in the chat that Timothy Chalamet was going to be Jonathan, maybe, that at least we've called him back for the role.
We can audition him,
I could go there.
Yeah.
We can audition.
He's a good actor. He's a good actor.
Actually, before you tackle this next chapter, we need to talk a little bit about supporting this show, the best ways that people can support this show.
And now on to Samuel 14. 1 Samuel 14. 1 Samuel 14. Something to that degree. Cool. All right. Now it fell on a day that Jonathan the son of Saul said to the young man who bore his armor, "Come, and let us go over to the Philistines' garrison that is on yonder side." Yonder side.
I like that.
I love that. But he didn't tell his father.
Uh-oh.
Saul abode in the uttermost part of Gibeah under the pomegranate tree, which is in Migron, and the people who were with him were about 600 men.
Oh,
that's a lot of men.
That pomegranate tree. I
that
know
tree.
that
Oh,
one.
yeah, that one in
Right.
Migron. Yeah,
we all
I
know
remember that
one.
tree. It's a famous tree.
And does he live in a town called Migraine? Is that what you said?
Migron. Migron. Migron.
Okay, Migron. Okay.
Migron. Yes. So, okay, the people who were with him were about 600 men, and oh boy, Ahijah. Ahijah.
Sure.
Ahijah. Ahijah, the son of Ahitub, Ichabod's brother. Ahijah and Ahitub, Ichabod's brother, the son of Phinehas, the son of Eli, the priest of Yahweh in Shiloh, wearing an ephod. What?
Okay. Is he a priest then, I guess?
He must
Ahijah
be. He must be.
must be a priest.
Okay, yeah, because he's wearing an ephod, and he's a son of all these people, and a brother of other people, and a son of someone.
Yes.
And he's
Who's a
there with
priest.
Saul, I guess.
Cool. Okay, cool. The people didn't know that Jonathan was gone. Between the passes,
Snuck out, yeah.
yeah.
Typical kid sneaking out with his friends.
Where is he? I don't know. He's gone. Between the passes by which Jonathan sought to go over the Philistines' garrison, there was a rocky crag on one side and a rocky crag on the other side, and the name of the one was Bozez, and the name of the other Senna. I didn't know we were like naming these.
Yeah, I didn't know we could name a crag.
Rocky boys. Yeah.
It's very important right now.
Yeah, exactly. The one crag rose up on the north in front of Michmash, and the other in the south in front of Geba. Jonathan said to the young man who bore his armor, "Come and let us go over to the garrison of these uncircumcised."
Oof.
Mm-hmm.
So is he going to stir up some trouble, you think?
Well, he's looking for these uncircumcised men, apparently, or that I guess aren't Israelites, probably.
Yeah, maybe they're gonna go like try to sabotage them or something.
I don't know. He's gonna go over the garrison of these uncircumcised, and maybe that Yahweh will work for us, for there is no restraint to Yahweh to save by many or by few.
And Yahweh is like, I don't work for you. You work
Yeah,
for me."
exactly. He's like, excuse you, Jonathan? Who the heck are you? His armor bearer said to him, do all that is in your heart. Turn you. Behold, I am with you according to your heart. So he's in love with him, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Or
sorry, who
something.
are we calling back for Jonathan right now?
Timothy Chalamet. Who is in Dune right now. I'm excited
Yeah.
to see that. He's going to be the
Okay,
Dune boy.
okay.
Well, but here's the thing, though, is that we're going to have to, at some point, I don't want to give too many spoilers, we're going to have to do some like chemistry callbacks with whoever ends up playing David.
Oh?
So that's going to be
Okay.
very important later on.
Jonathan and
Okay.
David have like a thing?
Maybe.
Like a thing?
Maybe.
Cool.
Come
Okay.
on.
What is it? Okay, I don't know. People are like very much so spoilers. Okay,
Yeah,
okay. I'm gonna try
keep it on the DL with the spoilers there, Dads.
Okay. So, yeah, but right now he only has eyes for his armor bearer. So I don't know. That's just my fan fiction, my Bible fan fiction.
I ship it.
Yeah. So then said Jonathan, behold, we will pass over to the men and we will disclose ourselves to them. If they say thus to us, wait until we come to you, then we will stand still in our place and will not go up to them. But if they say thus, come up to us, then we will go up to them, for Yahweh has delivered them into our hand, and this shall be the sign to us. So is he going to kill these guys? I feel like that's going to happen. Or something.
Yeah, I'm confused about what the plan is. So it's like we're just the two of us, I guess, gonna sneak over to the Philistines, and when we get there, we're gonna say, "Hey, I'm Jonathan. This is my buddy slash, very good, very close friend, armor bearer, armor bear."
Yeah, he doesn't get a name. He's just like
Yeah.
an unnamed armor bearer.
Right.
And yeah, that's what his name is.
Wait,
like,
but really though,
in the credits.
but the plan is,
Yes?
yeah, they're going to sneak up. They're gonna be like, hey, it's us. And then what's the second stage of the plan?
So he's gonna like pass over and say like, hey, we're gonna disclose ourselves, and if they say to us, wait until we come to you, then we're gonna stand still. And then if they say come up, then we're gonna go up. And then Yahweh's delivered them into our hand. So like they're hoping for the come up, I'm assuming.
That
Okay.
Does that make sense? Am I making sense? I don't know if I am.
I think you're making just as much sense as Jonathan is. Let me tell you his plan as portrayed in the message here.
Okay.
Well, first, I'm going to actually go back one more verse before that. And that's after he said, actually a couple verses. So we get the chemistry between Jonathan and the armor bearer.
Thank you. Yeah. it's
So
important.
Jonathan said to his armor bearer, "Come on now, let's go across to these uncircumcised pagans. Maybe God will work for us. There's no rule that says God can only deliver by using a big army. No one can stop God from saving me when he sets his mind to
That's a
it.
lot-
Or
that's
from
a-
saving when he sets his mind to
there's
it."
a lot
Wow,
of
who is this guy?
interpretation and commentary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right? His armor bearer said, "Go ahead. Do what you think is best. I'm with you all the way."
Oh,
Okay.
all
His armor
right.
bearer's just like, "Yeah, I'm
Okay,
with
so
you."
but- okay,
Okay,
oh,
then
wait, hang
Jonathan
on,
said,
though.
here's I was to the plot point. You can go though first. I'm
No, go
sorry.
ahead. Give us the plot point.
Jonathan said, "Here is what we'll do. We'll cross over the pass and let the men see we're there. If they say, 'Halt, don't move till we check you out,' we will stay put and not go up. But if they say, 'Come on up,' we'll go right up, and we'll know that God has given them to us. That will be our sign."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
all right.
essentially what they were
Gotcha.
saying.
So if they invite us, we'll know that's our chance to
To kill them?
freaking kick their butts. Yes?
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah, it
what
must
they're
be.
saying.
I don't know what their
Yeah.
plan is if
Okay.
they're like, hey, we're going to
Okay.
come down and check you out. I don't know if they're like what the plan is then, but this definitely seems like a not well thought out plan come up with by a teenager,
Really
by a
doesn't,
teenage
yeah.
son and his
Yeah.
friend.
No, totally.
You know,
Yeah, he's like, come
Right.
on, like, I want to see if Yahweh's gonna like take care of me. Like, is this going to happen or not? I'm interested to see. Apparently, Jonathan doesn't die because David is going to be with Jonathan. So thanks.
Really removed all the stakes there, Dedeker.
It's
Maybe
fine.
not.
It's all right. It's all right.
It's okay.
Maybe
It's all
maybe
right.
his cupbearer boy will die or
His
something. We'll see.
cupbearer
We'll see.
People are pointing out in the chat, a couple people have pointed out in the chat that like maybe the fact that they highlighted the fact that they're between these two rocky crags is the fact that they're like, ooh, they're going to try to bottleneck them to a certain extent,
Ooh.
like draw them out and bottleneck them between these two auspiciously named rocky crags.
Craggy crags.
Maybe drop other rocks on them from the top of the rocky crags
Maybe,
or something.
maybe.
Could be a
Okay.
cool.
Okay.
All right.
All right, where was I? Okay,
12,
both
I
of
think.
them.
Oh no, 11.
Yes, both of them disclosed themselves to the garrison of the Philistines. And the Philistines said, "Behold, the Hebrews come forth out of the holes where they had hid themselves."
And the baskets
Cool.
and the blankets and
Yes.
the bushes and the rocks and the pottery.
Exactly. The men of the garrison answered Jonathan, I can speak, and his armor bearer, and said, "Come up to us, and we will show you a thing." I don't know what kind of thing.
Okay.
That's a thing.
All right. Okay, I'm sorry. There's also been a running theory in the chat that like actually they were going to go hook up with these uncircumcised guys, and like all the dialogue is just
Oh,
Oh my god.
goodness.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm gonna show you a thing.
I don't
Wink.
I don't
Okay,
want to get
yeah.
too blue with this podcast, but you know, sometimes
we all know what we were thinking.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
What's funny is the message version is also very good, which is that they yelled down to Jonathan and his armor bearer, "Come on up here. We got a thing or two to show you."
oh, that's a very different nuance. That's like why
It is a
I
little
ought to
different.
show you a thing or two straight to the moon one of these days, something like that.
yeah, instead of like,
yeah.
I'm just going to show you a thing. Do you want to see my thing? You want to see my thing.
But
So
you got to come up
Jonathan
here
said-
if you want to see this thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Jonathan said to his armor bearer, "Come up after me, for Yahweh has delivered them into the hand of Israel." Jonathan climbed up on his hands and on his feet, and his armor bearer after him, and they fell before Jonathan. And his armor bearer killed them after him. Whoa, okay. His armor bearer is super badass. That's cool.
Wow.
Nice. Yeah.
That first slaughter, which Jonathan and his armor bearer made, was about 20 men. I'm sorry, can they give this guy a name? Apparently not. Apparently not. He's just going to be our unnamed armor bearer the entire time.
So I've been saving this suggestion for someone that I really, really like. And I don't know if this armor bearer is the one I want to use it on, but I've had Vin Diesel in my back pocket for somebody.
Oh, I
Um,
like that. Just like
that's-
somebody who could really like F up these guys.
That could be
Love
really
it.
blowing our load,
Yeah.
but maybe Vin Diesel's expensive enough that he can only have like a bit part in this film.
Maybe.
Wait, somebody just said he's like
Maybe.
13, so we have to get like a really awesome 13-year-old to like play this part.
I think we kind of play a little fast and loose with the ages of characters in our cast.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? He could play 13. It's fine. He's just 75, but he can play 13. Don't worry.
Okay, so the armor
Maybe
bearer
that's
Well,
like
also like
35.
Okay, yeah.
so the armor bearer messes
Alright.
up some fools.
Yeah, he totally does. He killed a bunch of people. Okay. That first slaughter which Jonathan and his armor bearer made was about 20 men.
All right.
Within as it were half a furrow's length in an acre of land.
Huh.
What?
Huh.
What does that mean? No idea. Not a clue.
Half
They
a
killed
furrow's-
20 men.
Half a furrow's length. Are they trying to make a metaphor about the ratio of men that they killed?
If you lined all the men up that they killed, it was half a furrow's length in an acre of land, which I don't know what that means, but
Oh.
that's what it means. I'm assuming.
If you lined up all the men they killed, it would take a country mile or whatever. You know, it's
But
just
they gave us the
using
number.
whatever
They
the-
gave us the number of men already. It was 20 men. We don't need to be told also how much space these men take
Somebody
up.
said it's half an acre. Half an acre worth of men. Half an acre
But
of
they-
land
No,
worth of men.
But they told us it was 20 men. And so it doesn't
I
make
don't know,
sense
Dedeker.
to then
I don't know.
to
It's
then
written.
apply
I
it.
don't yell. I don't know. Okay? I don't know.
You got to pick one or the other.
Well, they picked both, okay? They're really going big here.
I don't know
okay,
why this
there
makes
was
me
a
so upset,
trembling. There was a trembling in the camp, in the field, and among all the people. The garrison and the spoilers, they also trembled, and the earth quaked. So there was an exceeding great trembling. In case you didn't get it before. Just like a huge amount of trembling to be had.
It sounded from your description like you're talking about an earthquake.
Yeah, probably.
But I think it is just the people trembling. That
yeah,
there was an earthquake because everyone was trembling so hard.
Everyone was collectively trembling that like the whole earth.
Well,
just,
you would freak out because like a teenager in Vin Diesel just messed up all your stuff.
Right.
Yeah, like 25 people worth of messing up. Okay. So the watchmen of Saul and Gibeah of Benjamin looked, and behold, the multitude melted away, and there went here and there.
Like they scattered? Like they went here and there, hither and thither?
Okay. Thank you, Dedeker. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Then Saul said to the people who were with him, "Number now, and see who is gone from us." I think he means count him. Count him. See who it is. When they had numbered, behold, Jonathan and his armor bearer were not there.
Saul, you're such a bad parent. It took you this long to figure it out.
Oh, is Saul gonna get really mad? Saul's gonna get really mad.
Yeah.
Saul said to, oh gosh, okay, here we go. It's to Ahijah. Saul said to Ahijah, "Bring here the ark of God." No, that's not a good idea, man. That's not a good idea. Yeah. Saul can't wield that thing any better than anyone else could. "Bring here the ark of God, for the ark of God was there at the time with the children of Israel. It happened when Saul talked to the priest that the tumult that was in the camp of the Philistines went on and increased. And Saul said to the priest, 'Withdraw your hand.'" Like out of the ark? What?
Or just lift up your hand?
I don't know. I don't know.
Draw. Oh, maybe we've cut now. They're playing cards, and he's like, "Draw your hand. Come on, let's keep going."
Saul and all the people who were with him gathered together and came to the battle, and behold, every man's sword was against his fellow, and there was a very great confusion.
Seems that way.
Yeah, you're telling me. I'm a very great confusion right now. Now, the Hebrews who were with the Philistines as before, and who went up with them into the camp from the country round about, even they also turned to be with the Israelites who were with Saul and Jonathan.
Okay, so reinforcements?
Sure, we'll go with that. Okay.
So they've discovered that means they've discovered that they're there. Because they were just out there killing people just two against everybody, right?
I guess so.
No.
Because of Dedeker's bottleneck theory.
I guess so. I guess it makes sense, right?
Sure. I don't know. Yeah, I guess they were throwing rock crags on them and stuff. Okay.
What verse did you just finish with?
21.
21, because I'm looking in the message here. So this is, let me go back a little bit because this might influence something that we are thinking about here.
Okay.
So back to verse 18, where Saul ordered Ahijah to bring out the Ark of the Covenant. In the message, it says Saul ordered Ahijah, bring the priestly ephod. Totally different. Let's see what God has to say here. Ahijah was responsible for the ephod in those days. Now, and then skipping ahead a little bit, while Saul was in conversation with the priest, the upheaval in the Philistine camp became greater and louder. So I guess this is Jonathan and Vin Diesel doing their thing.
Okay.
Then Saul interrupted Ahijah and said,
Never mind.
"Put the ephod away."
Excuse me, put the ephod away. Don't bring that out again, okay?
Yeah. Like, how weird is that? He's like, "Get out the ephod." Oh, I hear a tumult over there. Actually, put that away.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, that's so random.
Yeah. Also, now that I've thought about it, Vin Diesel's not this isn't his moment yet.
Okay.
I love him so much, by the way, so he's going to get a good role in this. I'm going to save him.
Yeah. Maybe he'll be David. I don't know anything about David, but oh no, I guess because Goliath is big, so we can't have two big boys playing.
That would be interesting to
together.
Unless we made it truly be a giant rather than just a very
like
tall.
the giants in Game of Thrones.
Once we get to chemistry reads, we'll figure that out.
Is that in the next book after Samuel 2? Is there a book
of
David?
Think it's going to come up in this book.
Oh.
No, the story of David's going to come up in this book.
Oh, really? There's not a whole book of David?
David's kingdom spans quite a long time. Yeah.
People are saying it's coming up real soon. Oh, how cool. Okay. We're on 22.
Yeah.
Likewise, all the men of Israel who had hid themselves in the hill country of Ephraim, when they heard that the Philistines fled, even they also followed hard after them in the battle.
Yep.
They followed hard. So Yahweh saved Israel that day, and the battle passed over by Bethaven. The men of Israel were distressed that day, for Saul had adjured the people, saying, "Cursed be the man who eats any food until it be evening, and I be avenged on my enemies."
Excuse me?
So none of the people tasted food.
Hang on. Hold on. Okay, sorry.
I don't know.
This is moving a little too fast for me. I know that we get all excited when the Bible actually moves fast, and now I feel like it's moving too fast. Because it's like, bring out the ephod, put the ephod away.
They didn't have any food.
You're going to be cursed. So no one ate any food. What?
Yeah, like, they wanted them to fast, I think is what's happening, or something.
Well, yeah, I think he's just like, no one eats till we get vengeance, and they didn't. But I thought they did. So that's why
they need to eat. They need to eat so that they can get up their strength. And
yeah.
But this is the thing.
I don't know.
Maybe this is just showing us the way that Kylo Ren is sort of falling to the dark side a little bit, where he's just like stopped caring
they don't care about their
the
needs.
people
going nuts.
Like just only vengeance.
I don't know.
Just consumed by vengeance. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna read 2 more verses, and then Dedeker, I'm gonna push it over to you, because we have 52 verses so in this chapter. So I'm gonna do 26. Okay. So none of the people tasted food. All the people came into the forest, and there was honey on the ground. Randomly. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just gonna go with it. So there was honey on the ground, and when the people
what is this weird Adventure Time-esque kind of land where there's just like honey on the ground?
Yeah, they were wading through the honey. I don't know. So all the people who came into the forest, and there was honey on the ground, and when the people were come to the forest, behold, the honey dropped, but no man put his hand to his mouth, for the people feared the oath. Is this the oath of honey? Was there an oath that I missed?
The oath of not tasting food.
The curse. Yeah, that Saul said, if you taste food, you'll be cursed until we're done killing.
Okay.
And they go into the forest
everywhere.
And honey is just
like freaking everywhere.
About.
There's honey for days.
And
the bees are freaking out. Okay, like
right. The bees are just puking it all over them, and it's like on their hands, but no one tastes it because they were so scared of this.
They wanted to, because it's a land of milk and honey.
This is like an acid trip now. This is just really... Are we sure this isn't part of Saul's vision quest, where he's actually still high? This is actually part of his coronation, and he just hallucinates there's this battle going on, and he has a son, and there's honey everywhere, and oh my god, bring out...
And he's like, don't eat it, don't eat it.
Like, I've had some psychedelic experiences kind of like that.
Okay, Dedeker, you're on 27, so I'm going to let you take over.
So honey dropped, no man put his hand to his mouth. Yes, people feared the oath. Okay. But Jonathan didn't hear when his father charged the people with the oath.
Oh.
Therefore...
Well, neither did any of us. None of us heard this oath, okay?
Therefore...
It's like mythical oath.
You just read it, Emily.
Therefore...
Oh, well, I didn't know that was an oath. I thought that they were just like, don't eat it. But it's like, I didn't know that everyone was like, we're not going to eat it. We're taking the oath of not eating.
Well, I think it's more like the oath was kind of foisted upon them, as it were. You know?
Right, like Saul made an oath with the elder gods.
I've never heard that word before.
If you eat.
Like imposed. It was imposed on them. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm going to try to use that constantly now. Don't you foist that upon me.
That's a perfect, that was perfect.
Well done.
Thank you.
Used that perfectly.
Okay.
Jonathan didn't hear his father. Therefore, he put forth the end of the rod who was in his hand. What? Why are you saying who? Shouldn't it be the rod that was in his hand? The rod who was in his hand? There's just so many naughty implications in this chapter.
I want to say there's a little Freudian slip that happens here.
Yeah, I think so.
Whoever wrote this chapter was just, they were sexually repressed. They were like, I really got to put it into my writing here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Therefore, he put forth the end of the rod who was in his hand and dipped it.
I bet he did.
Dipped it in the honeycomb and put his hand to his mouth. And his eyes were enlightened.
I think we needed to have a drink for that one.
Yeah, we just need a drink to make it through this.
Then answered one of the people and said,
Wow.
your father directly charged the people with an oath, saying, cursed be the man who eats food this day. The people were faint. Then said Jonathan,
Mm-hmm.
oh God.
Sorry, can I hit you with the message real quick before you give this line?
Please.
The message said, no wonder the soldiers are drooping.
They're like flowers that didn't get enough water.
Right.
Oh my God.
They're wilting.
Also, someone in the chat made a Johnny Johnny Yes Papa reference, and I'm very, very happy about that. That person gets all the points.
Oh, nice.
Wait a minute. Who knows about that?
A lot of the internet knows about that, Emily. It was a meme. Anyway.
Yes, Johnny. Okay, everybody needs to look
Johnny
that up
Johnny
right
Yes
now.
Papa. Okay. People were faint. Then said Jonathan, my father has troubled the land. Please look how my eyes have been enlightened because I tasted a little of this honey. How much more?
Jonathan's going to get in trouble.
Yeah. How much more if happily the people had eaten freely today of the spoil of their enemies which they found? For now has there been no great slaughter among the Philistines. So Johnny is kind of making the argument like, yeah, people got to eat. If they eat, then they can perform better. You got to have self-care, Dad.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
Right. Although
And Dad's like, no, you got to have self-control.
Although Kurt is pointing out in chat that the whole like, no, it's great, I'm enlightened now, you should try some, was the line in Genesis with eating the
That is
apple or the
true.
fruit of the tree.
That is true.
So this one really depends on you're really
the serpent.
rolling the dice
So
with
hard
this
to
one.
know.
So are we saying that Jonathan is the serpent?
In this case, he would
In
be
this scenario?
He's
Eve.
more like Eve. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool,
They
cool,
struck of the Philistines that day from Michmash to Aijalon. The people were very faint. And the people
cool. Yeah.
flew on the spoil and took sheep and oxen and calves and killed them on the ground, and the people ate them with the blood. Uh-oh. We're not supposed to do
this
that.
is-
That's Levitical
Oh no,
law.
eating blood is very clearly against the
Oh,
rules
that's-
of Yahweh.
That's the problem. When you don't eat, that's when you binge, and that's when you like eat a bunch of sugar, is because you have not fed yourself appropriately. So they're like, we don't care. We're not going to follow the law. We're going to eat all this blood.
We have talked before on our other podcast about how when you're hungry, your decision-making skills are not as good. I think this is clear.
They
should have halted.
They should have halted.
Hungry, angry, lonely, tired, and drunk with
the blood of your enemies.
blood of these animals, which is
Yeah.
awful.
All right, they ate him.
Awful.
Okay, then they told Saul, saying, behold, the people sin against Yahweh in that they eat with the...
Meaning they did?
I guess they came clean.
Maybe this is other people saying this about the other people.
Yeah, in that they eat with the blood.
Yeah.
He said, I think this is Saul, he said, you have dealt treacherously. Roll a great stone to me this day.
What?
Roll me a big...
Is he going to grab a stone and like
Right.
push it at him?
Roll me a big
What's
fat
happening?
doobie so I can get greatly stoned this day.
Dedeker.
So sorry. Saul said, disperse yourselves among the people and tell them, bring me here every man his ox and every man his sheep, and kill them here, and eat, and don't sin against Yahweh in eating with the blood. All the people brought every man his ox with him that night and killed them there. So initially they went after the Philistines' stuff, their oxen and sheep and things like that, and killed them and just like ate them with the blood, and that was bad. And so now Saul's like, okay, I had to rectify this. You need to bring your own oxen and sheep and also kill them.
Oh, is it
and
your
eat
own?
them.
I was assuming
But-
this was still the ones you've just taken as your spoil.
It just says, bring me here every man his ox.
I'm assuming this is their spoils. This isn't their own personal ones because they're in the Philistine territory.
Well,
yeah, who knows? Maybe this
let's
is...
make a note to look this up in the bonus. Can someone write that down?
Okay,
Yeah.
no, stop. Tell me, what's the search term you would put in for that? Because I don't think you're
If
going
it
to
were
find
me-
anything.
If it were me, I would just search for, what's this chapter? Samuel 14. I'd be like, what happened in Samuel 14? Because that's going to
Okay.
bring up enough commentary of people kind of putting it in layman's terms of what happened, and then you're going to get some more clues, or at least some
Okay.
more interpretations.
Okay.
Okay.
Someone is
Saul
saying that
built
in
an-
the Septuagint, whatever he had in his possession is the translation. So maybe it is more just
So
like
it could
you
be
got to bring
spoils,
your
could
own stuff.
be his own stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Saul built an altar to Yahweh. The same was the first altar that he built to Yahweh. Saul said, "Let us go down after the Philistines by night, and take spoil among them until the morning light, and let us not leave a man of them." They said, "Do whatever seems good to you."
They're like, whatever, dude, we're in a food coma right now, but sure, like,
Yeah.
we can rally for that.
Wait, somebody's saying that verse 36 in the Message is really fun. So why don't you read it, Jess?
Well, I haven't even finished reading that verse. Let me finish reading it.
Okay.
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 So Saul said, "Let us go down after the Philistines by night and take spoil among them until the morning light, and let us not leave a man of them." They said, "Do whatever seems good to you." Then said the priest, "Let us draw near here to God." That's the full verse.
I see. Sorry, you had one last sentence. Sorry. Okay.
Yes.
Here's the message. Saul said, "Let's go after the Philistines tonight. We can spend the night looting and plundering. We won't leave a single live Philistine." "Sounds good to us," said the troops. "Let's do it." But the priest slowed them down. Let's find out what God thinks about this.
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
Okay, that made more sense to me. Thank
That's
you
reasonable.
for reading that.
Okay. Saul asked counsel of God, "Shall I go down after the Philistines? Will you deliver them into the hand of Israel?" But he didn't answer him that day. Ugh, he's leaving him on red. Jeez, so annoying.
Leaving him on red?
Yeah, like, the read receipt where it's like he's seen it, but he hasn't responded. Didn't answer to him.
yeah.
So annoying.
I'm pretty sure Yahweh has his read receipts turned off. I don't think you get to know. You don't get to know if he's read it yet.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Mine are still on. I should probably do something about that.
Second I saw them, I was like, yep, I can turn this off. Great. These are gone.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to turn them off. I'll figure it out. Okay.
Saul said, "Draw near here, all you chiefs of the people, and know and see in which this sin has been this day. For as Yahweh lives, who saves Israel, though it be in Jonathan my son, he shall surely die."
Wait, Jonathan's going to die?
Hang on, but there was not a man among all the people who answered him because they did not understand a word of what he actually asked. Can you help me out, Jace?
Okay, sorry, I'm eating the olive from my martini here. It's delicious. So
Yum.
Saul said, "All army officers, step forward. Some sin has been committed this day because Yahweh has not read my message. So he must be mad. He's giving me the silent treatment. We're going to find out what it is and who did it. As God lives, Israel's Savior God, whoever sinned will die, even if it should turn out to be Jonathan, my son."
Oh, no.
Oh, jeez.
No. It's not going to be
and
him.
Jonathan had that honey. Jonathan had that honey, though.
But he's
Oh,
not going to die
shoot.
because you said that he's going to talk to David.
Emily- Dedeker, I'm so mad
What?
at you for what you've done.
I was just trying to watch out for us as producers of this film. We got to think ahead.
Okay.
I mean, it's good. It makes me feel good. It's like when I'm watching Better Call Saul and like some really intense thing happens and I'm like, okay, that character is going to live because he's in Breaking Bad.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't have to freak out too much. That's kind of what's
Okay.
happening right now.
Then said he to all Israel, "Be you on one side, and I and Jonathan my son will be on the other side."
Oh.
The people said to Saul, "Do what seems good to you."
They're just every time they're like, whatever, man.
Everyone is so resigned.
Yeah.
Therefore Saul said to Yahweh, the God of Israel, "Show the right." Jonathan and Saul were taken by Lot, but the people escaped.
What?
What?
Saul said, "Cast lots between me and Jonathan my son." Jonathan was taken. Then Saul said to Jonathan, "Tell me what you have done." Okay, so I think that by casting lots, like with the ephod, and like the divining and the runes, what the priests do, they're whittling down or trying to narrow down who sinned, like who committed this sin that's preventing Yahweh from responding to Saul.
Yeah. So
And because of
Okay.
the casting of lots, we're finding that Jonathan was the one.
So this is actually kind of cool. In the message, they really spell out the process here of how this happened.
Oh.
So
Okay. Tell us.
They threw 3d12s.
No, basically, like it's not far off from that, to be totally honest. So Saul prayed to God and said, "O God of Israel, why haven't you answered me today? I texted you like 3 times already. Show me the truth. If the sin is in me or Jonathan, then, O God, give the sign Urim. But if the sign is in the army of Israel, give the sign Thummim. So he is like,
yes, the Urim and Thummim.
I'm going to flip a coin, and this one's us and that one's you. He called it. Urim sign turned up and pointed to Saul and Jonathan. That cleared the army. Next, Saul said, cast the lots between me and Jonathan, and death to the one God points to.
Oh boy, but
gosh.
they gotta kill Saul, right? Because like, whatever, we're over him.
Well, yeah, what happens? Verse 42, right?
Tell us, Stedeker, tell us.
Then Saul said to Jonathan, tell me what you have done. Jonathan told him and said, I did certainly taste a little honey with the end of the rod that was in my hand, and behold, I must die.
Oh.
Awkward.
Wait.
Awkward.
Period at the end
Super awkward.
of that?
Period at the end, yeah.
Wow. Because in the message, there's a question mark at the end of that sentence.
So behold, I must die?
He's like, and for that I'm to die? Like, seriously,
Oh,
Dad?
no.
I had a
it's very
little
much-
honey
it's
on
very
a
much-
little rod. It's not a big deal.
He's very accepting in this version. Just
Wow.
behold, I must die.
Okay.
Saul said, God do so and more also, for you shall surely die, Jonathan.
Dang.
Wow.
The people said to Saul, shall Jonathan die who has worked this great salvation in Israel? Far from it. As Yahweh lives, there shall not one hair of his head fall to the ground, for he has worked with God this day. So the people rescue Jonathan that he didn't die.
Yes.
Whoa. Okay.
Yes.
It's like they rose up and like rebelled against their king and saved
Wow.
his son. Whoa.
Wait, so what's gonna
Yeah.
happen to Saul?
I don't know. I'm nervous because it's like if they did all the divining, that clearly indicates that Yahweh's like, yeah, this is the person who did wrong. But again, we've also been in this position before of where like people make ridiculous vows and then have to kind of suffer the consequences of making a ridiculous vow in the first place.
Right.
Like with Jeff Goldblum and his daughter.
Yeah. That classic example
Remember?
of vows. Yeah.
That classic example. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Then Saul went up from following the Philistines, and the Philistines went to their own place. Now,
Okay.
when
Cool.
Saul had... I guess that's all done. Okay.
Yeah.
When Saul had taken the kingdom over Israel, he fought against all his enemies on every side, against Moab, and against the children of Ammon, and against Edom, and against the kings of Zobah, and against the Philistines. And wherever he turned himself, he put them to the worse. Oof.
So he won.
He did
He's a
valiantly.
bad man. Bad man.
Yes.
Okay.
He did valiantly.
Yeah, no, I think he did good.
Not that he's a bad man, just he did good in doing bad to them.
Doing bad to the other people.
Got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
He did valiantly and struck the Amalekites and delivered Israel out of the hands of those who despoiled them.
Right. So he
Now,
saved Israel from being imprisoned by
Yeah.
everyone around them. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the sons of Saul were Jonathan
The only
And-
one that matters.
Uh-huh.
and Ishvi and Malchishua, and the names of his 2 daughters were these: the name of the firstborn, Merab, and the name of the younger, Michal, and the name of Saul's wife was Ahinoam, the daughter of Ahimaaz. The name of the captain of his host was Abner, the son of Ner, Saul's
Abner.
uncle.
Son of Ner. Abner. Okay.
Kish was the father of Saul, and Ner, the father of Abner, was the son of Abiel.
Meaning,
was a sword-
meaning that Saul and Ner are related.
Cousins? They're cousins.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
No, uncle and nephew.
Yes. No. Ner is Saul's uncle. Therefore,
Yeah,
Abner
yeah.
is his cousin.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Kish was the father of Saul, and Ner, the father of Abner, was the son of Abiel. There was sore war against the Philistines all the days of Saul, and when Saul saw any mighty man or any valiant man, he took him to him. So like he conscripted them
That
to his
yes.
purpose, to his wars.
Conscripted is the word the message uses.
Okay.
It's like every time he sees a
that's-
strong man, he's like, "You here, you're with me."
Over here now.
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That's the end of the chapter.
Wow.
Gosh. Like,
What did we learn this week?
I don't know. We learned that fathers can be bad, witches can be right, giants can be good. I'm sorry if nobody else got that.
Oh my god!
I know some of you out there did.
Let's go watch Into the Woods if anyone wants to.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we learned about Jonathan. That Jonathan is the son of Saul, and he's brave, I guess, brave enough to be like, hell yeah, we don't need a big army behind us. Just me and my best bud can take a whole half acre of Philistines if we want to.
Mm-hmm.
We learned that people can make silly vows. Saul seems to be very impulsive.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
And impatient.
Saul seems power hungry, or maybe like, I don't know. I maybe there's more to the story, but so far I remember, and we talked about this a little bit in the bonus for last week. Like, that's how I was taught as a kid, right? That Saul's sort of a bad guy, but it almost feels like more maybe he went a little intense with his power or whatever, but also was coming in and
are we going to get more of him?
And saving them from a bad situation. I think we are going to get a little more of Saul. I don't know how much more though.
We're definitely going to get more of Saul for sure.
There's a lot more Saul.
Yeah?
I just remembered. Yeah.
Somebody said we learned the Bible is all innuendo.
There
which
was
is
a
true.
lot there.
I agree. I have agreed with that forever.
We've known that a long time. Yeah.
We definitely learned the lesson of like, feed yourself, halt if you're hungry, stop and feed yourself before trying to slaughter the rival tribe. It's going to go a lot better for you if you actually feed yourself.
Except for, I guess it isn't, because then you might die.
But you don't,
But then
because
you
then
don't,
the
'cause you
people
get saved.
the people saved him. They're like, we don't care about your oath, Saul. We're going to save Jonathan because he actually was badass and
Right.
He's a cooler guy than you, Saul.
Right.
Yeah.
That is a little confusing too, where we're back to a part of the story again where we don't know what Yahweh thinks. And that's interesting because we've gone through this now a few times, or we'll go through periods where it's like different people are saying what they think Yahweh wants or what they should do. And sometimes it succeeds and sometimes it doesn't. But then we have other times like when Samuel comes along and it's like, okay, now it's kind of clear Yahweh's definitely speaking to him because he can give these very specific, you're going to meet this band of prophets and you're going to meet a dude with some loaves of bread and he's going to give you 2 of the 3. And, like he can kind of really prophecy and really get those messages. Like in that, it like said Yahweh was there speaking to him. And here we are where Yahweh has read receipts turned off and Saul's freaking out because he doesn't know what's happening. Right? Like, so it's interesting that we're kind of going through these periods of like, who's really talking to
Abundance
Yahweh
of Yahweh.
Abundance of Yahweh.
Yeah, there's and then just like a complete drought of Yahweh. We don't get to hear from him for a while or something.
Right.
There's definitely some back and forth for sure.
Huh.
What do you think is going to happen next time, Emily?
We're going to apparently hear more from Saul, and then maybe we'll get Jonathan and David together. I want to meet baby David and have Jonathan and baby David like become BFFs. And then Jonathan's like, you know what, baby David? I think you're going to be king one day. And then that happens. But first, you have to kill a giant named Goliath.
Okay.
Cool.
Spoilers galore today.
Seriously, before we wrap up, we do have a toast to give, actually, to a brand new $12 patron of ours, Melissa. We want to give a toast to thank you so much for supporting the show. Thank you for helping us to be able to keep this show free. Thank you for helping us to be able to create these live broadcasts while a lot of people are on lockdown. And hope to see you around. Cheers to Melissa. Ting. Well done.
We have to make our own tings.
Good Foley.
Yeah.
I do what I can.
We'll be doing full-on radio dramas with sound effects in a moment.
I love it. So thank you all for joining us for Bible study today. If you want even more Drunk Bible Study, including ad-free episodes, early releases, and personal toasts on the show and more, become one of our patrons at patreon.com/drunkbiblestudy. If you enjoy the show, take a moment to subscribe and then write us a nice review on iTunes or Stitcher, letting other people know what you like about it. You can also join fellow listeners in the Drunk Bible Study Fans and Fellowship Facebook group. Find us on Twitter at Drunk Bible Cast, on Instagram at Drunk Bible Study, or send us an email to info@drunkbiblestudy.com. Drunk Bible Study is created and produced by Jace Lindgren, Dedeker Winston, and me, Emily Matlack. Our theme song is Book Club by Josh and Anand from the album Home of the. For more information, visit us at drunkbiblestudy.com.
I made a memory about your dad. He's in a book club. Whoa. He's got a history of skimming past all the pages of ageless confessional